everyone. A very good evening to all of you. And today we are going to have international designer and choreographer Ayesha Khanna here with us. So let's all welcome Ayesha Khanna on the show on MadhuV'sLuxury.co.
Hi, Madhuri ji. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today on the show.
Hi Ayesha, a warm welcome to you here on MadhuV'sLuxury.co. And it's a real pleasure and honor to have you here on the show. And before we go with the story about you, let me brief the audience a bit about Ayesha. So, as you know, Ayesha is an international choreographer and a designer, and I would like to familiarize you with her achievements as a choreographer and international designer. She started dance at the age of 4 under the guidance of Shobna Narayanji, and then she moved to Ashley Logo, where she learned all the know-hows of modern dance, jazz, and from other guest choreographers at dance walks. After Kathak, she learned the dance forms, and then she moved to USA after marriage, and she created a niche for herself in a massive competitive world like New York City, and created the brand Bollywood Funk. Certain aspects from dance to fashion seem to be too contradictory, but goes to her credit that she ventured into the fashion world and she covered another milestone, and today she is ranked as one of the sought after fashion designers in fashion industry. And she has showcased her collection in Italy, Milan, Paris, USA, New York. And I think instead of going on and on about her, I would like her to come to tell the audience from her own mouth about her journey from a performing artist to a fashion designer. So would love to know your journey, Aisha. It's been amazing, I know.
Wow, Madhuri ji, like when you put it like that, it's definitely a very long journey. It almost goes into flashback. I hope we have a few hours set aside for this interview because I probably have to put together my entire life's work into a few minutes. But yeah, my story is actually just filled with following my passion. Both dance and design are just extensions of me. I'm somebody who's an extremely passionate person. I've always been drawn to the arts, to the visual arts. Born creative is what I would say. I think I have to thank as far as me getting into dancing is concerned, it's been nothing but a blessing. Um, my family, my mother is the reason why I was introduced to the world of dance for the first time at the age of 4. Before I could learn how to walk, I started how to dance. And my mentor, my guru, whom I lovingly call Shobna Didi, Srimati Shobna Narayan, she has been my inspiration, my rock. I think Kathak and dancing taught me so much discipline. It's been my foundation throughout my life, and that's actually the reason why I'm able to accomplish so much in my career as a dancer. Um, Classical dancing has definitely been my roots. I learned, with Didi for like about 10 years extensively, but at the age of 14, I think I realized I wanted to do something more. I've always been someone who's very restless as a person. I'm a dreamer. I visualize a lot in a typical Bollywood fashion. I visualize myself doing things that an average person would probably not think of, but that's probably why I've been so drawn to the world of Bollywood, that anything is possible. So at the age of 14,
Very distinct thing with the creative people, that's a very distinct quality of creative people, what you just mentioned.
Absolutely. I think we're dreamers because what is a person without a dream, right? I think being able to dream is God's blessing. This is God's gift to tell you that you're a human being, and I give you this blessing that you can dream, you can create your life, you can make something together out of nothing. And I think that is something which everyone as an individual has. Obviously, we all choose different ways and different paths to accomplish our dream. And no dream is big or small, but my dream was to become a choreographer. My dream was to become, I've been someone who's been following Bollywood my entire life. So I'm a Saroj Khan fan, I'm a Farah Khan fan, I'm someone who's visualized, spectacular performances on stage. So for me, it was all about like what would be like for me to create a style which is my own, which is my own vision. And it's always been more fun for me to like create something which is not just me. I love to share my passion. So I think as a choreographer and through Bollywood funk, which was obviously an extension of that dream, I could share my passion of dance and choreography because I'm someone, I want to give back to the community. I want to like be able to tell if something makes me happy, and it's both through my design and through my dance. I want to see, can it make 5 people happy? Can it make 10 people happy? Can it make hundreds of people happy? And the good news about dancing is. And this is probably why I became a teacher in the first place. Is when you're teaching dance, you make a difference in one person's life. You make them feel good about themselves. You make them feel positive. But then they go on and they take their positivity and it kind of becomes a part of their life and they share it with somebody else. So it's such an ongoing process. It never ends. It's like like a flow of positivity. So luckily for me, I've been on that journey since I was 4 and. It still keeps me grounded. But dance, like I said, at 14, at the age of 14, when I had nothing, I was just a little girl back in Delhi, going to school. I was obviously someone who was always drawn to dancing. Studies was something which was like, okay, I have to do. I have to admit I wasn't crazy about academics. But I was the first one in every dance show. I was the first one to be selected for every performance. So dance was actually something that like carried me through, and I knew it was my knight in shining armor, like my soulmate before I found my real soulmate in life. At the age of 14, I decided I was going to be a choreographer. I had no idea. Trust me that New York going international, even Ashley logo was nowhere in the picture. It was just, I'm going to be a choreographer. I remember having this conversation with my family, with my father when I was very young, and I think I was still learning Kathak at that time. And he said, ask me what you're going to do when you grow up. Are you going to be a Kathak dancer? Because I was doing Kathak solely at that time. And I said, no. And he said, what you going to do? Are you going to be a jazz dancer? And I said, no. So what you going to do then? I said, I'm going to create my own style. I'm going to create a style which is a fusion of both, which is just me, which is nobody's style, and I'm going to create my own style. And I said that at the age of, I think, 17, and I had no idea how I was going to do it. But it was just that faith that I was going to do it, and I think God gives you what you ask for. It doesn't tell you how. You have to walk those steps, and for me, it has been multiple steps. Um, I decided to start my own school. But Ashley was actually another blessing. Like after Didi, learning Kathak obviously was a great foundation for me, but I just somehow never felt that was going to be it for me. Back in India that time, when I'm talking about the 90s, there was no we didn't know what Western dance forms were, to be honest, in Delhi especially. Jazz and ballet and contemporary, like we hadn't even heard of those terms. Of course, we watched it in shows and MTV, etc. There was Shyama Gawar who was in Bombay teaching, his style, but I was never going to go to Bombay at the age of 14. That was not going to happen. So then I was just wondering how was I going to learn all this stuff, and of course I kept watching movies and TV and trying to like incorporate some of those steps, and like how kids do these days. You watch TV and you try and follow those steps. So I was always like trying to like copy those steps and create my own choreographies for colleges and college competitions. But I yearned for that formal training, and Ashley Logo came, who's my other guru, my mentor. He came as another blessing in disguise, and he started the school in New Delhi back in '98. Called the Dance Works Performing Arts Academy, and he moved from Sydney, and he's a visionary. He's a visionary. He still is. He just changed the term dancing, and in Delhi. I mean, he really taught us what professional dancing is. That was the first time I was introduced to the world of professional dancing, because until then I never realized I could take up dance as a profession. You see, back in India, and I say this with a lot of passion, is that when I was dancing, dance was considered a hobby. If somebody asked me, are you a dancer? You say, oh, Beta, that's so nice, how lovely, oh, you're a good dancer. And they would always think that, oh, that's such a great thing, that's just a side thing that you're doing. the fact that you could make it a profession, that you could actually earn a living out of it, that it could take you places, and maybe to an international level, was something nobody would even consider. There were very few choreographers who would have made a mark for themselves, and I mean, Shamak was like one of them who was already on the path, being in Bombay. And when Ashley came along, I think he kind of just shifted the perspective. So as a young 17-year-old, I was in college, and I saw this ad in the paper saying you can dance, and he was auditioning for his first company, first person ever company. He was launching a jazz company in Delhi. I remember seeing that ad, and I just had this instinct that I have to go for this audition. And I still remember, since you were asking the story of standing next to the phone, and you were supposed to get a call back. I think I had inquired about it. You were supposed to be called back to be told that you can come for the audition. And the phone didn't come, and I was just standing there like around the phone for 2 hours and saying, "Why is the phone?" Like, I think I was about to faint that day, and I was just almost, I think, 17 or 18, and I just ran to the studio, and I was blown away because there were like about 100 plus people out there, 100 plus students, because he had posted flyers everywhere. Shriram College, Alyssa was right in front of the studio when we were at, and he posted a flyer, and there were like 100 people, and they were all there to audition for him. And I had no background in Western dancing, of course, but I was a Kathak dancer, so I did have that. And I remember him teaching a dance piece, and we were supposed to be doing it one by one in groups. And that audition changed my life because I got selected as one of the 11 people he chose to be in his company, and this is back in '98. And that was the day when he tapped on my shoulder and said, "You're a natural dancer, but I need to tighten things up." And that's it. There was no looking back. At the age of 17, I got into his company, and that's when had this really, I had to make a choice at the age of 17, 18, when most people were going to college and getting into like different courses. And I always knew I was going to be in the arts, but I was going to take up like mass communication or PR or something like that, which was, I think, the more acceptable thing to do, and a path that was followed by a lot of people. But my family can say this much: I've always been a rebel. If they said right, I would go left. If they said left, I would go like straight. So I think, but they were really supportive. I mean, the fact that I was a dancer is again, like I said, all credit to them. So they saw that talent, and I remember coming back to my family and saying that I got through the audition, and now I'm going to be a part of this amazing company. And he was going to start training this company to become instructors and choreographers, and basically like lead. And being the top 11 and the only 11 was like, I think, the highest honor I could ask for. Handpicked by Ashley. I still feel like amazing about it. And there was no looking back after that. I went to my family and I said, "Give me 1 year. I want to try this out. And if this works, great. And if it doesn't, it's my responsibility. But I want to give dance a year." But trust me, my family would tell you that that year hasn't ended. I've been on that journey for like decades now, and there's been nothing looking back. So DanceWorks was definitely a huge turning point in my life because it's taught me everything about professionalism. It showed me that you can make arts a career. I know now it's a given. I know now it's so normal. And now it's actually, like you say, there's so many established choreographers out there in Bombay and everywhere that, it's you say you're a choreographer, people will be like, "Oh my God, that's amazing," and but when I was that young, I wasn't given that kind of affirmation. So it was definitely a journey. But that's the thing about creative people. If you really want to stick to what you're passionate about, you have to stick to it regardless. You just have to stick to it regardless of what people say, because you have to have the faith that you can make it. So that 14-year-old voice kept like telling me that you've got to go on this path. Um, and yeah, like I was a part of his company for 7 years.
The message to the audience you're giving, Ayesha, that you should have a conviction for what you're doing and continue on that path. Put your heart and soul and all your efforts, and you will achieve success, I'm sure. So that's
Absolutely. absolutely. I mean, I think the only thing that has held me together all these years, and there have been so many trials and there have been so many ups and downs, and there will be more, obviously, is to just have this faith because honestly, as artists, we're very emotional people. I am somebody who's extremely emotional. I'm very sensitive as a person. And then you combine the fact that you're an artist, we're all very protective of our art, you know. We don't want to be told that what you put out there is not good because it's like a baby. You don't want anyone to tell your baby is not pretty. Like no mother would want to hear that, right? So as artists we become like that, but when you become as a business person, when I kind of made shifted into the thing of being an owner of my own school when I created Bollywood Funk, that was a huge learning experience for me because till I was with Ashley, I was still a student, a choreographer. I was still under his belt. And I now realize, and it was only when I started creating my own school, I realized why was he so passionate about what he did. Because when you're creating something from scratch, you kind of have to take the responsibility for everything good and bad. And he was a very tough teacher. So the lessons that I learned, like the dance verbs and the ethics and professionalism and everything I learned about dance and just about the discipline of being a professional. And I started learning that when I was just 17 and 18, just long when kids in college were just like, yeah, having a good time, which I did too. I was getting some very tough lessons. I was getting some very tough lessons, both back home and from my teachers. So I am blessed that I had teachers who were there to tell me the difference between right and wrong.
The best from the industry, if you talk about Shobna Ji or Ashley, you got the training from the best in the
absolutely handpicked, like handpicked. If you still look at their craft and their work, I mean, I think it's an honor, and they truly are visionaries. Like there are a lot of choreographers out there are a lot of instructors out there, but they're past that. They truly are visionaries. Like Ashley's vision was to bring the contemporary style to India. I remember when we used to make calls back in Delhi. We had this system of calling people up and saying, "Hey, will you please join our school?" We started a jazz school, and this is all a part of our training to get people in. And people would be like, "What is jazz?" And like literally, I like people didn't know what jazz was. Like we couldn't explain that. Britney Spears, that song. Have you seen that dancing? And now it's funny because now you see urban dance and street jazz. It's normal.
You were the fortunate one to be among the pioneers in the jazz dance when it started in the country.
Absolutely, like absolutely, and it's because of that training that when I was actually one of the first people to leave the company, and that was another pivotal point in the risky point. The first risk I took was at the age of 17, 18. I said I'm going to take up dance as a career, and then I was on that journey for 7 years. And being on that journey was amazing because I got to dance. I mean, at the age of 24, I was dancing in a Yash Raj movie. I was dancing, I mean, now when I think about it, I know, having YouTube followers and Instagram followers and TikTok followers is a big thing. And I'm like, you know what? It's not that bad. What was I doing when I was 23? I was auditioning for I was working on an Aditya Chopra movie. I can say without a doubt I've done, I worked. So that was another learning experience. I think that's why I created Bollywood Fun because I had Kathak, and then that was one aspect. And
I think it's a beautiful fusion of Bollywood and Kathak.
yeah, like Bollywood funk it's not just Kathak and this thing. It's basically what is Bollywood funk is just an extension of me. It's like I'm someone I love fusion. Like I love fusion in food, I love fusion in fashion, I love fusion in dancing. I am someone I'm like I have got I take from everyone, I learn from everything, and then I will just put it in a pot, and then I will say what will come out of this. Because whatever comes out of it is my own vision, is my own. It's like you've given me the recipe, but I'm going to play with it. And I think that's very important as an artist because we all have a very unique point of view. We all have a voice, and we don't. It's very important to have that expression. And my teachers, luckily for me, have always encouraged that. They never encouraged us to become clones. We are unique individuals. We're born on this earth with very unique set skills. So you learn learn so much in school, but then when you're like thrown in the circle of life, you have to fight your own war, right? So it's the same thing with creativity. It's like, you can be a copy paste. We are so unique. We have to create something which is your own, and then you take responsibility for it, for the good and for the bad. And I think for me that was important.
I would like to ask you a question, Aisha, that how tough was it making a mark in a city like New York with Bollywood
Wow.
funk or a brand? And did you ever imagine that in a country like New York, you will have a brand, you have your own name, and you go places like you're doing so amazing music.
It's mind blowing when you think about it, because honestly, coming, and I'm glad that you asked me that question, because I was again I was at a crossroads in my life, and I was just talking about doing Via, the Jeff Raj movie, and after working with Ashley for so long, and he was just making that turn towards getting into movies. We got offered Dhoom, and had the opportunity to dance in that movie with Isha Deol, and it was a great learning experience. Sorry?
Right. I think the movie called Socha Na Tha and Dhoom.
Yes, the Sochanatha was with Imtiaz Ali. That was the first one with Aisha Takia, and it was that was just absolutely wonderful. And but Dhoom was kind of like more of a dance sequence. A, a path breaking movie, in the sense that even with Aditya Chopra, he was trying to create something completely new, and that was the first time that he was trying to introduce jazz as a part of a dance choreography in mainstream Bollywood. So I know it was a very big project. We rehearsed for it for months and months and months and months and months, and of course the result was spectacular. And that's when I kind of got like the first-hand experience of like what is it like to be behind the scenes in Bollywood. Like we all see Bollywood like this glamour world, and you just show up looking like picture perfect, and you have 50 dancers, and everybody sing, but there is just so much hard work. I know Bollywood is on a reputation for a lot of things, but to be very honest, the artists, whether they're choreographers, they're backup dancers, even the actors, that's was the first time I realized that the amount of effort that goes into, you know, the visual arts and into creating these songs and sequences is just beyond amazing. And we trained for months and months and months, but we shot for like 6 days in a row for one song. Um, but that song and its success was a huge turning point. That was an inspiration, because that's when I realized that I could take my training as a jazz dancer. I could retain my love for Bollywood, because it's constantly, it's like there is room for so much in Bollywood. You can do anything in Bollywood, and of course my love and my passion for and my training from Indian classical, that I could put all that together and see what happens with it. But that kind of opened my eyes. But coming to New York was actually a decision I had to make, because I was at a crossroads in my life, and my family is going to like vouch for it. And if I hadn't taken the turn towards making a personal decision to, I fell in love in typical Bollywood fashion. But if I, but if I hadn't, and I'm also a romantic at heart, another thing. But I had to make a very critical decision of like, pyar ya career, and in a very dramatic fashion, because there I was like in love with this guy who was living in America and settled in New York, and I had to either be with him because we were in a long distance relationship for 2 years. He's been my best friend for years, and we came to a point where like, okay, we have to make a decision. Am I coming back to India? Of course not. He was not going to leave his like job in New York City. And the next thing was, okay, you come to New York, and that wasn't going to happen without marriage. So I'm almost like 25, and I have just done Dhoom, and my teachers are expecting that I'm going to move to Bombay and be assisting him in choreographies. And of course, mind you, I was extremely excited about that idea. Like I still tell my family that if I wasn't in New York, I would have been in Bollywood. So, but I think God had plans for me, because, and actually I feel lucky that I got to be on this side, because I'm enjoying, of course, the best of both. But coming to New York was, the decision was not like I'm going to have everything set for me. It was more a personal decision, which came at a price of like, of course, leaving everything behind, a very, very comfortable or spot, which I'd earned over 7, 8 years. The future of like going into Bollywood.
Really tough.
Very tough. Like it was very tough. But I followed my instinct, which is the other thing I want to come down to. That we as individuals are going to have so many decisions we have to make. Between your mind telling you, if I followed my mind, I would have been in Bollywood and assisting him, and I would have moved to Bombay for sure. And I know my family would have not been okay with it. Because Bollywood is a very tough industry, and we all have examples of it. And I'm thank God, because I'm certainly not made for that cutthroat kind of work. I'm a very simple person at heart, but yeah, but my instinct was I got to follow my heart, and my heart said, let's go towards, follow the leads, we're in love. And I knew he was very supportive of dancing. He's been my best friend, so I knew he knew that I'm never going to give it up. So I came into this big concrete jungle, the big apple, with like starry eyes. I knew no one, like no one. So
It's amazing, you know.
I like no one. When I say no one, means not a single soul. The only person I knew was my husband. That's it. And New York is a city which has got millions of people. Nobody stops for anyone. Nobody is going to stop for even like anything. It's crazy.
Your journey and your story is going to be an inspiration for many, many people, you know. Like, as you're mentioning, that you didn't know anybody over there and still you made a mark.
Absolutely no one. Like, not a single soul. Like, I had no family back in the US. We had some family from his side, which is in California, which I haven't met even in years now, because East Coast, West Coast so far. So there was no cushioning. And when it came to dancing, all said and done, whatever I accomplished back in India as like being a dancer, it actually didn't really mean much, because here I was. I mean, this is the city where dance is born. This is the city of hip hop. This is where you have the biggest dance schools in the world. So suddenly I felt like, fish out of water.
In Broadway Dance Center, you were training there as well?
Yes. So when I came here, it was a humbling experience. I mean, of course, after the initial, it was a bit of a cultural shock, a very big shock actually, because you back in India, you're comfortable, and like you're taken care of. So all the young ones who are following this, you are leading a very comfortable life. People coming abroad and you start washing dishes daily. I remember washing dishes daily and saying, what am I doing with my life?
And from in that comfort zone and doing so much over there on your own and making your own place there, it's commendable, I must say.
It was definitely an experience, but like I said, in the beginning I didn't know anyone, and I did go through a very tough time. I almost, like, I would say the word, and I still say it, an identity crisis of sorts, because we all have our egos attached to what we do, and we all have like impressions of ourselves of we've done this, we've done that, and then you come into a place where it doesn't matter. Like, so, and if you've done this, you're like, okay, so what? Because I've done XYZ. So it was great because I had to start from scratch. But it was also great because I realized what I'm made of. As a creative person, and even the times that we are in, when things are falling apart and businesses are falling apart, and and so many people have lost up jobs and opportunities and businesses, you have to realize that if you have faith in yourself, and as long as you have your Josh and you have the qualities, you can always rebuild. You can always start again. Just because the building comes down doesn't mean the mastermind who created that building has gone with it. So we attach ourselves so much to what we have created materially and with, like, oh, I need this, I need that you forget that yes, it's gone, but you can always do it all over again. And for me, it was that. Like, my building came down. It was, ground zero. And I had to start putting that foundation again. And I did that with Bollywood Funk. But I had to train a lot for it. Like I said, you asked me. I did train at Broadway Dance Center. I adapted to the styles here. And yeah.
I think it's about like where there is a will, there is a way. So you kind of really, it kind of goes very well with you that where there is a will, there is a way.
It is, the will has to be there no matter what. If there is no will, there's nothing. And I think we are people, if we don't have desire, and we all have desires. We choose to, some people choose to like hide their desires under responsibilities and under nahi nahi ho sakta hai, ye karna chahiye, ye nahi karna chahiye, and some people can't sleep. I was probably one of them. Like I couldn't sleep. Like I would wake up when the time before I created Bollywood funk, and when I was kind of in this phase of trying to find myself, and I did have some, issues, of course, of feeling, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pick this up? Like I remember going to starting my training all over again, and then going from the front row of teaching a class to being in the back row and then just being another student with 40 other dancers who were 10 times more qualified than me because they've been training there. I mean, I would do one turn and one thing and they're doing 5 turns in front of me, and it was like, okay. And that does intimidate you, that does crush you to some extent, but but it was also very inspiring because I got exposure to so many different styles, to so many teachers, to so many different leaders that I kind of just opened my mind. So New York was just like, you know what, girl, you're out of the pond, welcome to the ocean, see the sharks, and I learned how to swim. I learned how to swim.
If I may ask you, Aisha, how did you handle and manage, the insecurities or the competition over there and the anxiety? Because, as you said, everybody is so good and they know 5 forms if you know 3. And how do you manage and handle, that kind of...
How did I manage? I would have to say I did have my share of like, no, I'm not. But you know what? It's when you have the talent, which and I think, and I'm very humble to this date. I'm very humble, and I because I believe that whatever you have, you earned, but it can go away in a second. So I don't like to hold on to anything with the, oh, this is mine, or oh, I this. So because I had that humility and I wasn't egoistic about my achievements and this and that, I was ready to like accept that, okay, I'm going to have to start working from scratch. I'm going to have to prove myself to myself, and I'm ready to be a student. So when you're a dancer, you're a student for life. You're never above dance. You can be good at your talent, but, and this is something my teacher taught me, Ashley taught us very early, that you're good compared to whom? You're amazing compared to whom? You've accomplished A, B, C. Compared to whom? If you start comparing yourself with like everybody else, then there is no end. You're probably going to just put a blanket over you and not come out because you just can't face that. But if you're comparing yourself with yourself, then it's easier. So for me, it was like, okay, back home I could do ABC. Now can I stand my own in New York City? And I remember taking the train to my classes every day. That was the only place I knew. I was so scared. I never like traveled alone. I'd never like commuted alone. And then my husband was like, you gotta be independent girl. Like he didn't the other thing was he was my other mentor. He never like handed off anything on a plate for me. Like in India, if I was like being driven here and there, or you had of course the security of your family, he was like, you got, because he came abroad very early on, so he had the experience of fetching everything for himself, and he taught me that.
Yeah, for you it's been like a good attitude, positive attitude, and a lot of hard work behind it.
A lot of hard work. And eating humble pie, like you can be, you can accept everything as success and failure. Everything is not, you can't just always be, I'm at the top or I'm at the bottom. You should be okay to be in the middle. I'm someone who's like slow and steady wins a race. Slow and steady. I believe in the long-term plan. Like today, in today's world, everybody wants to be at the top in like 2 days. We want to have 100,000 followers tomorrow. We want to get that award day after tomorrow. I am like, why? Why don't you just enjoy that process? And I want at the age of 75, I'm still dancing, I'm still rocking that career, and I'm like doing everything I am. Why would I just, it's like you became the president of the country and you enjoyed your term for 4 years, but now nobody's talking about you. No. I want that till the last day of my life, I'm just rocking it at that peak, and then when God says you're done, I'm up in the heavens and dancing there also. But yeah, slow and steady does why we there is.
I must say, Aisha, that it's so nice to know that at such a young age you're so evolved and you're so mature to think things which even very mature people may not think about life and about. beautiful.
I mean, I do think a lot, I have to say, and then I just translate to talking also, but I'm expressive because everything I do from the heart. And the times when I've not done that, anything from my heart, I have been the biggest failure. The biggest failure. When I made a decision from my mind and my gut has said something else, but because logic doesn't make sense and I've followed that, I have made the biggest mistakes of my life. I have regretted those decisions. I have been unhappy because I didn't listen to my voice. And it's so interesting that your gut, your instinct, and your inner voice, we all have that. We choose to just muffle it and we choose to be like, no, 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 that's ठीक है, you just listen to uncle, listen to auntie, listen to your next door neighbor, listen to that comment on Instagram because that person on Instagram knows more about you than you. Unfortunately so we are so, but your inner voice is literally God's voice, and it's something that I've taken a long time to realize, and now I'm like, yes, I've always known that. But
I must say, Aisha, these are the qualities of a pure soul, and all this that you're saying only comes from a totally a pure soul.
thank you, pure soul. My mom is going to be happy if she hears I'm a pure soul. But thank you so much, thank you for saying that.
Can you tell about your, these projects that you went, I mean, there are so many projects that you've done with Master Saroj Khan, USA Dance, and with established achievers in different areas in US.
Wow, where should I start about Master G? So Master G's story is also amazing, and like a dream come true in typical Bollywood fashion. My life is nothing but Bollywood dreams coming true because I see everything as a dance sequence, quite literally. And it's funny, but I have a hashtag which is always filmy or extra filmy because again, I live that Bollywood dream, and then it more often comes true. But with Master G, and I'll call her Master G because that's how I lovingly address her. Its story goes back to when I was again just a young girl back in India, and I watched all her movies, and she was the one and only choreographer who's changed the world of dancing and choreography in Bollywood. So obviously, being a dance enthusiast, I've watched and I saw how she created Madhuri's career and Devi, and both being dance icons to this date, and I love them and follow them passionately. But this is it. This is about me having a conversation with universe. So again, going back to me as being a young girl at 14, 15, I was obviously enamored by watching all these Bollywood songs on TV and just wondering like, how will I get? And I think she's been the reason why I wanted to be a choreographer, like she and Farah Khan, because they had very distinct styles. She being very traditional and bringing traditional classical dancing into her songs, and then Farah Khan was very different, and so I think they both have had a great influence on me as a choreographer, and since then I've evolved. But back as a 14, 15-year-old, like watching their movies was everything. Saroji was like right up there. She still is. But I don't know. And then when I moved to New York, and of course Bollywood didn't happen in the sense of like I didn't move to Bombay, as you all know the story. I kind of left a gap in my life where I just kept yearning that what, I know I'm here. It's like grass is always green on the other side. So I'm here. I know I'm working with all these established schools, and I'm training, and I've started my own school. It's great. It's amazing. But I wish, like, I never got to see, Saroji in person. I wish, and I heard some stories about where she was training back in India, and I would always be almost, let's use the word jealous. And I think because the signal keeps going to God. Like when you think about something, good or bad, the signal is constantly transmitting. So the signal was constantly transmitting that I want to meet her, I want to work with her, I want to meet with her. I wasn't verbalizing it, but I was almost saying it like that. And this is literally what happened. One fine day I get an email saying that she's doing a workshop in New York, and it was being organized by somebody else, and I literally ran and I took that workshop, and there she was live in person teaching, and it was absolutely amazing. But that was that, and I took that class, and just as a student, and it was a wonderful experience. I was so scared, I was so intimidated because there was Saroj Khan in person. But then what happened next was even better, because that story happened. I did that workshop, and it was like, okay, great. I've got my first step of being able to take a class with her in person, and there were many others. But the opportunity that came was amazing, because a few years later, and because I never stopped asking the same thing, I was obsessed. Came this opportunity that she was coming to the US as a part of this big show called Dance USA Dance, and they were reaching out to different schools to organize workshops with her and this dance competition with her. And I was probably one of the first people who got a call as for my school. And I remember the call coming in and saying that, hello, are you from Bollywood Funk NYC? I'm like, yes, hello. And he's like, I'm so and so. I can't take names right now. But we just want to let you know that we're bringing Saroj Khan. And I just stopped right there. And he's like, I'm like, what? Like, we're bringing Saroj Khan to New York. Would you be interested? I think I put the phone away. I screamed for 5 minutes. I ran around the room, came back. No, but not being dramatic, but I almost didn't believe it, because it was like, when they say you created an image of God in your head, and then God appears live in person. It was just, I just went, I went, I was like, I have to do it. But it was so scary that, I have to organize a workshop with Master Saroj Khan, the one and only, and the world knows that, she's, very strict, and of course her dance style is right out there. But I had the privilege and the honor of working with her, and fortunately I got that not just once, but for 3 years in a row. So and now I've kind of become, I would say, like very close with her and her assistant choreographer, and I remember when she walked into the studio for the first time, it was just mind blowing. But she was so impressed, and she loved working with my school, with my students. I shared a lot of personal moments with her. I remember like literally breaking down in front of her. I got the first dollar. She was giving out dollars for like whoever will dance the best. She had this thing of like giving out, let's say, shagan card dete hai, student ko. And she gave the first dollar to me, and she signed it, Saroj Khan. And I think I almost fainted at that day. And to this day, it's like, these are moments. These are moments. This is not just about being somebody who's famous and she's a Bollywood this thing. It was just someone who's paved her way. I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Madhaviji.
I think it's also about the talent that you appreciate about her, and how she's reached to be the top choreographer in the country.
Absolutely. And when I met her in person, and when I saw her working in person, when I saw her choreographing in person at her age, it was just a few years back in 2015, I realized that she's another, these are creative masterminds. Like, I saw her creating a choreography with 50 dancers right in front of me, literally like she recreated Devdas right in front of me at a studio in New York. Like 5 dancers from here, 6 dancers from there, 7 dancers, and they're all doing something different. And that was just so amazing, because you realize that there is a reason why these people have changed the word choreography in Bollywood, and they've actually given the term choreography. The term choreographer came from somebody like Master G. So working with her up close was a great experience. I learned a lot personally and professionally. To this date, I hold her in the highest honor, and I'm going to be I had the pleasure and the honor working with her for like 2-3 years consecutively, and I think she remembers me now, of course, because I've maintained my relationship.
Ayesha, I must say that to a great extent, you were able to achieve your dream of being so close with Bollywood, because your USA tours with Karan Johar, Varun Dhawan, Katrina Kaif, Alia Bhatt, and other Bollywood celebs.
Yes, it's and again, that's great, because see, I it's just hard to explain this. Like, I left India, but it wasn't like, oh, I've left India and I've left India. Like, it's like, I don't want to have anything to do with India. It's like, you can take a girl out of India, but you can't take India out of the girl. I'm a very typical example of that. I carry my love for, whatever I've gained from the country, and I think Bollywood being right there, because it's hands down being, it's given me everything. Like, my recognition, my fame, the fact that I could rebuild a new identity in New York City, in USA, it's nothing but thanks to Bollywood. Where does Bollywood come from? From India. So I take great pride in the fact that I got to represent it and be a torchbearer for it. And I think it's God just rewarding that, because I couldn't go to Bollywood, and I'm actually happy because being here, I'm able to live the best of both worlds. I'm able to maintain my distance from Bollywood for things that are not so good about Bollywood, and we've all known stories of that. And I would not want to be a part of it, especially like being an artist. You want to just be consumed with your art. You don't want to be involved with anything else. So that's been a great thing here. People are very professional. They're very ethical. This is this and this is that. There's no in between. People say what they do, and people expect you to do what you say. So, and because I was trained like that, I got used to that kind of professionalism. There was no in between. There was no garbad. It was not like no under the belt thing. It was very straightforward, and I appreciate that kind of work ethic over here. And Bollywood has started coming here, so it was just like another extension of that same vision that um, US became a place which was attracting, all these big celebrities, Karan Johar. I remember Karan Johar and his entire team coming for Dream Team with Alia Bhatt and Varun Dhawan, and we did this huge flash mob with like about 50, 60 dancers in Times Square in New York City, and it was a huge task for me to get everyone trained. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And I remember going backstage when the show got over, when they had their big shows, and because we had done the whole promotion for them, Varun Dhawan and they all saw it, and there I am backstage because the organizers took me to meet these guys after the show, and Varun Dhawan is like shaking our hands and saying thank you so much, and I am like, oh, no, I mean, I'm not being fangirling, but it was great to see these stars as humble people. I'm not someone who's like starstruck, but I was happy to see that Bollywood has people who are humble, who respect people, and it was a great appreciation that we had worked for them, and Karun Dhawan and team were like, oh, we acknowledge what you did, and you did this flash mob, and it was great. And because you don't expect that from Bollywood celebs, to be honest. You don't expect them to just turn their back and be like, I don't know who you are. But so yeah, that's also been me just sending science to the universe. Can you send Bollywood? So there have been a few.
Yeah. Also, Ayesha, you've been featured on various media networks and newspapers, including The View, MTV, CW2, CNNI, BN, Star TV, ZTV, Pop Sugar, Video, Daily Times, New York Times, and Times Out New York, to name a few. Wow. So widely covered in the media as well. And this is all about your journey of the Bollywood funk, I believe. And would you like to show us some of your choreography? Is it possible we could see some of your choreography by any chance?
Love to. So all our choreographies, if anybody's interested in seeing, because it's been just July, we'll be completing 13 years in the business. I started the school in 2007, so this July 15, 2020, I complete 13 years of building this school, my heart and soul and my blood, sweat and tears. As far as choreographies are concerned, and of course everything that you said, they're all available on our YouTube channel, Bollywood Funk NYC. We also have, if people are interested in, seeing our classes and of course what we have offered, they're available on our website, bollywoodfunknyc.com. But our YouTube channel, Bollywood Funk NYC, if you just Google it, would show up our channel, and you'll probably have all these videos from the flash mob and all these big shows that I'm talking about. We've done several, of course, now YouTube has become really big, but that's where they can see all our choreographies and some of the very well-known ones. I remember doing a show for Manoj Bajpayee when he came to New York, and we did the song Sapne Mein Milti Hai as a special tribute to him. And it was a surprise because he was coming here for the New York Indian Film Festival, and I found out that he was going to be the guest, and I was so excited because Manoj Bajpayee is just another name. We created this dance. I created this choreography, Sapne Mein Milti Hai, and it was a tribute to him. And he walks in and with the organizers, and we literally had 3 minutes, and we did the performance. And the whole time I kept looking at him, and he had this biggest smile on his face because we recreated that song. And I remember talking to him later, and then he in person is saying, "Oh my God, that was so amazing! Thank you so much for bringing that song back. It felt so great." And another example of like Bollywood coming like literally that close to me. And also the people I've admired have literally just walked up to New York in ways that I could never imagine. But it's been a blessing. I'm actually happy to be able to do what I do over here.
I believe about more than 100 performances, and you've choreographed more than 100 productions by now, I believe.
I've lost count. When you say 100, I actually have lost count because, I mean, I started dancing when I was 4. I would not give out my age. But my career, dance career, if I say from the age of 18, it's been 22 years. It's been over 2 decades that I'm doing what I'm doing professionally as a choreographer. So, and as productions, we've, as a part of Ashley Lobo's company, as a part of, Shobna Didi's company. I remember traveling with her as a dancer. With Ashley, we did shows abroad in Netherlands, and of course, we used to do so many shows back home. And when I moved to New York, I remember doing a Kathak show. I wanted to touch base with Kathak again, so I joined a dance company here called Kathak Ensemble and Friends, and I did a solo at Alvin Ailey, which is the most prestigious dance school in America, in New York, and there was a huge Kathak production. So that was again something that was a great experience and a great learning experience, because I went back to being a performer, something that I'd taken a break from. And since Bollywood Funk, of course, I've done so many choreographies and so many shows. I had to build everything from scratch, and I'm talking about a time where we didn't have YouTube, wasn't as big, we didn't have Instagram, having followers wasn't a thing, being an influencer wasn't a thing. So I know now you can become a self-made choreographer. You can, but we didn't have those luxuries. You really had to build a brand. And it's taken me just over a decade to build that brand. And I think not about just building a brand, about building a reputation. Anybody can build a brand, to be honest. It's about what does the brand stand for, and do you deliver consistently, and does it have quality, and do you stay true to your vision? I think that's very important as a entrepreneur, as an artist, that to maintain that quality, and always being very vigilant about maintaining that quality.
I must say, very good tips that you've given for brand building, and that's how you're two brands, not only one. One is the Bollywood Funk, as well as international fashion designer Nora. So I would love to know about Nora now. Like we love to know some of your journey as a choreographer, and I'm sure even this is going to be very interesting. So would love to know that.
Nora, I mean, I was thinking, when I thought about this interview, how was I going to introduce it? But Nora is another passion project. It's something that I discovered very late in my life as a brand or as a profession, and I know a lot of people are very surprised by it, because it's like those stories you hear of somebody who's been an accountant his entire life, and next thing you know, he dumps everything and he becomes a full-time singer. So luckily for me, I didn't have to make such a radical step. They both are within the same visual arts and the creative sphere of things, but again, it dates back to, actually, I was thinking about it, why did I ever become a designer, or how did Nora come about? And the story of it is actually still going back, if I were to think about it personally, is like when I was just young, I was fascinated by fashion. I was fascinated by the glamour world. Thankfully for me, I inherit my sense of style and elegance from my family. I've grown up in a family where women have dressed very well, very elegantly. So I do have to thank my genes and my family and my mother for it particularly. So when you grew up in that environment, when you have admired the women in your family, and my Masi, my grandmother, my mother, you kind of you start appreciating, style and fashion in a very different way, not just what you see out in the world. You just start appreciating how important it is for you to be unique. And since I started absorbing that at a very young age, it kind of became a part of my system, though I never paid attention to it because obviously growing up as a teenager, I was just another teenager. Definitely not in the front runner of the good-looking family. Because as teenagers, we all go through, our phase of like, oh, do I look good and etc. But fashion was something I was like Bollywood had its space out there. Fashion was again this glamour industry was really fascinating. I would flip through magazines, Feminas, and all these glamour magazines and see these picture perfect models. And like any other girl, I would be like fascinated, like, wow, how do they do that? Obviously, and as someone I am an extreme. Like, I can either dress down, and it's funny because as a dancer and as a choreographer, I'm in my sweats, and because I'm dancing, I'm sweating for hours. I'm just wearing a tank top in my tights and sneakers. And I think as a designer with Nora USA, I've kind of accomplished or like compensated for the other part of me which yearned to dress up. So I remember when I was a kid, because we used to be in our school uniforms the whole time, and otherwise we didn't have very like crazy busy lifestyles. The best thing I used to enjoy was going for weddings. So when every and in my family, we used to have a wedding invitation, like I think 4 or 5 times a year, or maybe more. And that was my occasion to dress up. So every time a wedding would come up, I had two things to look forward to. One, I would get to dress up in my best attire, and my nanihal comes from Bhopal, and they have the most gorgeous lehengas, and that's where I learned, what karigari is. Like, I learned the word karcho and zardozi at the age of 13 and 14 and 12. And, kids my age would be like, what are you talking about? Because I literally saw my Masi like taking out her antique shawls and saying, this is karcho beta, you can wear this to this wedding. And I'm feeling so good about myself because it was just literally luxury. And those things are so important because at that point in time I realized, oh my god, I knew what Zardozi felt like. I could touch it. I had seen, back in Bhopal where my nanihal is from, I actually saw people working and sitting for hours and and stitching something. So I think that appreciation for the arts goes back then. With Nora, I was, so this is me just like appreciating all this back as a young girl. But obviously, choreography and dancing was at the forefront of it. I never really thought I'm going to become a designer and all, but I always knew I wanted to dress different. Like, I always, if the wedding was this, and I wanted to wear the best lehenga, like the lehenga which no one has. If it's elaborate, if it's like better than the bride's, no problem. But I have to be the one who is topping it. I think it was just me trying to live that princess life, because you see, I love Bollywood, so maybe that was that. And then just even in college, we didn't have that many options. Now you're then living in a world where you have at the tip of a button you can get access to so many different designer labels and God knows whatnot. But when I was in college, I didn't have access to all that. Obviously, not even the funds, but I always had an eye for like dressing differently or like dressing something which is unique, because I like to be unique. So being with the, I think that instinct of being unique and dressing differently is what I translated into a designer. That comes
Yeah, I think that comes naturally to you.
Yeah, like I have to be different. I can't be the same if I walk. And I think New York, so to cut the story short, like being a designer, something that's come to me, it's more like a passion project. It's something which has come instinctively. I'm a visual designer. I've always decided if somebody invited me for a party, I would immediately start deciding in my head what I would wear. And even though I won't have access to that outfit, but I would start like designing in my head. So with Nora, I think when I moved to New York, I was living as a choreographer and I was, doing what I was doing. But like I said, I come from a very artistic family. My family was already into like, running a small boutique and, doing more bridal wear and stuff. And I had access to all of that. But what happened was that I was only able to get access to it when I would come to India. And you see, when I was living in New York for 13 years as a dancer, as an entrepreneur, I New York kind of opened my world to this world of fashion. It's like a melting pot where people could dress the way they want. They would still be respected for it because they were unique. Where you could be, in a city, in a part of New York City where you could really dress up and wear the best tuxedo and a black dress. Um, and we all prim and proper. And then the 2 blocks away, you could be in sneakers and a pair of sweatpants and a cool hoodie, and that's perfect too. So I kind of had this perspective shift that you can be who you want and you can dress the way you like as long as you owning that. Um, and being in New York with the amount of stores, and again, I was always a lover of fashion. So when I came to New York, it kind of blew me away that I had access to so many stores and so many designers and so many labels. So at first, I became the best consumer. I tried every single brand out there. I went from store to store just studying what was it, how is it, what is it that Michael Kors looks like what does an Armani exchange look like, all these labels and stuff. And um, of course, that was very exciting at first, but what I really missed, because going back to my roots, was the colors. Nobody wears colors here. I realized that, I had to come to India once a year to get invited to somebody's wedding and then wear my best outfit. And because otherwise, I was either in my sweats, or if somebody invited me to a birthday party, I would wear a black dress. And I'm like, why am I wearing a black dress? You won't believe it, but even today in New York City, if you get invited to the best party at a rooftop and you go there, guess what? You're one amongst the 100 girls who's wearing a black dress. Another black dress could be $50 and the black dress could be $200, but nobody cares and nobody knows because you look like this. You just look like another person. And I realized I was falling into that bracket and I just couldn't handle it. And then that's when I started. I think I dabbled with the idea of creating a fusion line um, for with Nora for like about 2.5 years. For 2 years I didn't sleep, and then one day I woke up with dark circles, and I said no, no, no. But like I said, here it was all traditional garments. I had access to the most beautiful clothing. Like I said, I'd grown up with watching these cardigans doing the most intricate hand embroideries, and we all from India, we know what it's like to wear those lehengas, and we take so much pride in it. But I realized women over here had become very, I have to use the word boring, because they were like, okay, when Diwali comes, I'll take out my lehenga. And one fine day, I kind of dabbled with this idea. I realized that traditional clothing is not going to work here, obviously, because we don't have the time. We are taking metros. We don't have drivers around. We're multitasking. We're doing 5 different jobs a day. So I was like, you know what? I'm done wearing the same dress. I can't look the same. It's below my dignity. So, and I remember walking through Fifth Avenue and all these stores like Macy's and seeing all these mannequins dressed in dresses. And like I said, I started. Everything starts here first, and literally everything does start here. Imagination is everything. It's not something that's written in the books. It's a fact. Um, so I would look at those mannequins, and whatever she's wearing, I would immediately start redesigning it. Like I would immediately start shifting things around and say, what would if this would happen and that would happen? And it's like choreography. Like if you were to play a song right now, you would be listening to it and you'll be enjoying it. I would be choreographing it.
The creative juices start flowing the moment you see the mannequin wearing something.
Yes. So and if I go a step further, I imagine the dress. I have recreated the dress from the mannequin. The mannequin has stepped out. The mannequin danced in it. She's done a whole solo in it, and she stepped out. Yes, so I kind of go a step further and go. But that's so amazing, right? Because it's just about if you can see it here, and it's a fact, you can make it happen. So yeah, with Nora, I saw this dream of creating dresses which nobody else had, of creating dresses which were unique, but but mostly Nora was again the same thing. I wanted to bring my heritage, my love for everything that Indian clothing can bring, but just to bring it to a global platform. I'm like, why in New York can you not dress like this? why can't we be different? So why can't I wear pink in New York and be appreciated? Why do I have to wear black? Why can't I wear like a little bit of zardozi? Why can't I wear a jumpsuit and be talked about? And that's exactly what happened. I just wanted to just steer, like you say, if somebody says right, I'll go left, and that usually works. That usually
Right.
works.
And right, I think Nora launched in Milan in 2018 with a vision to appeal to and dress women from all walks of life. And Nora USA designs have been featured on British Vogue, Medicare magazine, Italy, National Film Awards, US, New York Festival Walk Fashion Show hosted by Claire Salmers, CEO Fashion Bomb Daily, Milan Fashion Week, Spy News Magazine, Nabucco Magazine, Emerging Talents Milan shows, FIIE, yeah, fashion presentation. And Aisha was also invited to create a custom dress for acclaimed singer Eliza Raghu, American Idol Top 8, for the prestigious Howdy Modi event held in Houston, Texas, in honor of Prime Minister Modi.
Yes.
So,
That
and the
sounds like
event
a
was,
lot.
yeah, it is.
That
And the
sounds like
event
a
was,
lot. It's
but over 60K people with President Donald Trump and the dignitaries. It was an honor to see Eliasa Raghu sing the national anthem dressed by an Indo-Western piece designed by Nora. Nora USA
yes.
recently participated in Paris Fashion Week, showcased its Fall/Winter 2020 collection, and the
Yes.
designs reached reviews from international audience of fashion bloggers, designers, and fashion publicists. Nora USA was featured in Fab UK magazine and was also voted as one of top 39 designers spotted during Paris Fashion Week by the Mode magazine. That's awesome. First of all,
I
happy
mean,
congratulations.
thank you so much. When you say it, it just sounds better because like I said, my humble self is like, oh my god. But it's wonderful to have your work appreciated. I have to say, when I started out Nora, I literally, and this is again relating back to my start as a choreographer or in New York. I started Bollywood funk, and I relate to it because I want people to know that you should be willing to start from scratch and from nothing. And with everything that I've accomplished, I've literally had to start from zero. When I started Bollywood funk, I had nothing, and I started with one student in my living room, and then has grown into the business that it is today. And the names that you've taken with the Bollywood stars. Um, they all came much later, but I had to make that start with that one student in my living room and literally going door to door passing that flyer. With Nora, it was no different. Like I said, I had no background as such. Nobody was expected me to suddenly diversify and even notice that I could design or I had that interest because I never recognized that about myself. And but the day I said, but I literally did this. I took one dress. I actually decided I'm going to design 4 or 5 dresses and I'm going to be my own best customer. And my own dresses are going to be like nobody else has in New York City. And I'm going to go to the best clubs and the best pubs in New York. And I'll see what happens. And that's exactly what I did. I wore those dresses, and next thing I know, I was turning heads. And when I realized that, when you own yourself and you take pride in who you are, that it's okay to be different and that it's okay to wear pink in a sea of black, and that, just being an example, and that it's okay, and not just okay, that people are going to be like, how did you do that? When you are being unique and being and taking pride in what you bring to the table as a creative person, or how you dress and how you wear something just in a design sense, then you get the attention you deserve. But it doesn't have to come from the source of I want attention. It has to come from the source of it makes me happy. So because and with Nora the same thing. It's a feeling thing. I wanted to see women feeling good about themselves. So everything that you say about Paris Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, and all these big names that you've taken, it's all started from a very small desire that I feel good when I dress differently and I create these clothing. And I'm just an average girl who just wants to feel and look good and look different and look unique, because every woman at the end of the day wants the same thing, right? We all the same in sense. We all pretend to have ABC, but we all want to be appreciated. Like today, if I say, Madhuriji, you look absolutely radiant, you just smile in a second. How easy is that? And imagine if I made a dress and repeatedly somebody came to you in a party and said, "You look beautiful," okay, and you look like if 50 people came up to you, how amazing would you feel? So for me, it was just that desire, which translated into everything I did. And Milan, like I said, Nora started with like one dress and two dresses, and actually handling that business overseas, being here and managing a production team back in India has been another challenge. I was told it was not going to happen.
I wanted to actually ask you that how do you get business there and how customers awareness is created? Is it through word of mouth or through the fashion shows? And like who takes the measurements over there for you when you send it to India?
I have to. Like I've actually I'm a very hands-on person. I had to learn a lot of things on the job. I'm someone who's learned a lot from experience. Like I said, and even for these fashion shows that you said, like I've had to. I just had to take the risk and do these fashion shows, from dressing up these models to fitting these models to taking measurements. It's something that I had to do all by myself. I didn't have the luxury of having a team of like 5 people, like most designers do back in India. And I had to do everything by myself, lug those suitcases. But it's been a very humbling experience. And the same thing with, it's why I relate Bollywood funk and Nora, is that I was ready to to take those steps because I had a vision. My vision was, I don't want Nora as a design house to be just known for South Asian clothing. And it's very easy to be put in that bracket, especially when you're abroad and from where what people expect from me, that, oh, okay, fine, you're gonna sell Indian clothes here. But it wasn't just about that. I want that Nora as a design house should represent uh, women across the world. As women, we are all the same. We may come from different backgrounds, and we may look different, but inherently, as what we desire, what women want, is to feel special. So, um, with Milan and with New York and with Paris, I did every fashion week with the same thing. It was just this insane desire that I want to see Nora on the map. I want to see my dresses being worn by a black woman, by an Indian woman, by an Asian woman, by a Caucasian woman, because every woman is just beautiful. It's about recognizing the internal beauty, and my clothes are just enhancing it. It's not the other way around. So the international thing is more with that. It's just that, I just want to see women around the world looking unique and different. And if Nora has the pleasure and the honor of doing that, then why not? Then why not? I will keep doing it. I will want to keep doing it as long as I can.
Extent you have been able to achieve that dream, and I'm sure there is much more to go beyond this as well. And so the initial interaction with the customer, selection of the fabric, and final tailoring and fitment and all that alteration is taken care by you yourself over there.
Yes, so a lot of people ask me this, but I'm somebody who's very particular. Like I want to. Nora is not a retail house, it's a custom house. And the reason I've made it a custom house, and it's actually a very painstaking job, is because it's from the same design. I want to treat every individual, as a unique person with very unique taste, with a very unique, desire to look a certain way. So for me, it wasn't about, when I create these outfits for fashion weeks and stuff, it's not about creating one design and then creating, 20 pieces in a small, because just because I like red, it doesn't mean that red is going to look good on you. Just because I like a short top doesn't mean it's going to look good on you. So with Nora, what I decided was to make it a custom house where we take the clients, first of all, who is the client? What are her taste levels? Where is she going? What does she want to dress like? What is the occasion? Once I get an idea, I'm someone who wants to see their pictures, literally, especially if I'm sitting so far here, I want to see what your general style is. Once I literally study my client, if I can. And then I have a one-on-one conversation. I want to know a little bit more. And, of course, we take a lot of, ideas from the client. What is it that you want? Sometimes they share images, sometimes they share just ideas. And some clients know really what they want, and they're very clear and they're very particular about it, and that makes the job really, really easy. And then there are others who are usually not, very sure, but they want to be inspired, and then we obviously have a lot of discussion. But yes, if the client is here, then I personally take the measurements because, of course, measurements are everything. I select the fabrics. I'm someone who I get very particular even about the shade of fabric. I don't know, I've gone back and forth for hours with my team over WhatsApp and calls that, shade was like half an inch, like just this much different, or the work was this much. I'm obsessed. And the reason why I'm like that is because if I don't like it, um, then I know that my customer is not going to like it. I have to have 100% faith in what I'm presenting. And it's the same thing, don't give out something that you're not going to be proud of. So, because and I always imagine what my customer is going to, what my client is going to feel like when he or she wears it. So it's really about making them happy. So giving them a dress which is something that they envision, or I'm helping them, bring it to life. But yeah, we take the measurements. We show them swatches of the materials. We do a lot of back and forth, and even when the production process has started, before the final product is ready, we start showing them samples. So when if there's like they've asked for embroidery, they've asked for handwork or colors, and in every step they're being shown, this is where it is. So if there's any changes that's required, we can make those changes already. So it's never a blind process of like you just want to get the end result. It's like you order something on Amazon and you get something else. So the idea is to try and match that vision. And I know it's extremely hard, and you can go, you need a lot of, it's a mutual partnership. But once we're able to align ourselves to a thought, then it's easy to create something.
Alterations as well. Are the clients interested for alterations anytime, or they come like completely perfect fittings and perfectly measured?
So
because you're and the customer is somewhere else, and manufacturing is done somewhere else, right?
Yes. So with my clients here, it's been it's amazing because we try to make our first process as seamless as possible. So my aim is that at the first time the fitting should be almost 100%. And luckily, and actually it's not even luckily, it's taken me a few 2 years to perfect that process of like going back and forth with my team. So I had to really work very extensively with my team and really train them in a way of like what my aesthetic was, and how to get that perfect cut and everything, because obviously they had to get used to my style of the outfits I wanted to create, and making the client happy, because I know the client personally. So 99% of the times we do, hit it on the mark. However, of course, fittings can change. If you ordered something today and then you're not wearing it for 1 month, and then you've lost some weight or gained some weight, and that happens. Then I do have somebody here who can make, do some alterations, minor alterations for us. And but if you're back in India, of course, if you're back home, then I have my whole production unit at disposal. So if you're ordering from India, then you have access to the production house. You can get alterations done anytime. You can get alterations done 3 times till you get your outfit perfect. We just want to make sure you get, the desired result. And we have, I've been fortunate enough to work with some clients back home also whenever I visited in person. And I don't think I've got a complaint from anyone. In fact, they've got so many compliments that I have a saying that my guarantee is go wear this outfit and tell me how many compliments you got.
Oh, beautiful. And people can order from anywhere in the world, right? Anyone can order from anywhere in the world. And how does that happen? Place an order for
so where I'm based in the US, and we have our website, our Instagram. People can DM us directly. We are on Facebook at Nora USA. My website is norausa.com. But my Instagram at Nora USA is where I'm posting, the latest photographs and the most up-to-date photographs of the last shows and everything. Sometimes people also want to come up with their own ideas, and that's okay. I want to do this. How about do that? We try to just take that as inspiration, just to kind of get a visual of what the client wants, and then create something which is going to be completely unique again. But yeah, like back home, if you're ordering something, again, if you're from India, and we are ready to do everything for you, and even for worldwide. Like like I said, we have Nora outfits available in stores in Milan, in Dress You Can, and I'm looking to actually start offering them in Soho next year. I know everything has come to a standstill, but I was almost on the verge of starting to work with a showroom in Soho in New York, which I will probably apply for next year now once everything reopens. But yes, Nora is available everywhere, any part of the world. The production, yes, I have complete faith in my karigars. I cannot, you don't get these experienced karigars everywhere, and they've also like perfected their technique and their art and their skill along the way. So it takes a while to build a team, and now that I have a team that I'm very proud of, yeah, I won't trade them for anything. So we'll deliver. Like, we delivered every part. Milan, UK, US, any part of the world is okay. Now the world is becoming a smaller place.
If I may ask you, what is the price point on an average for any of the garments on an average?
It really depends on the outfit that you've ordered. And I have to say this, we take a lot of effort in creating that outfit, because from conceptualization to, actually bringing it, creating the final piece. And because we're not trying to, it's an actual thing, we're not trying to copy paste or just like, okay, you see this design. It, so there is that initial work process, but depending on the work, how much, if you're someone who's taking an outfit with a lot of handwork, and handwork when it comes to, depending on what you're doing, kota patli and, sardozi work and resham work, like you name it, and we are doing that. I've, created outfits with pretty much every kind of work out there. It can take weeks. So if you're creating an outfit which is like a bridal outfit or something that you want to wear for a cocktail or something, then it can take up to 3 weeks or even longer for the karigar to finish it, and then it will go into production of the stitching part. So it's custom based, but I'm trying not to make our outfits so expensive that you can get a second one. So average would be like in Indian rupees would probably be like 35 to 50K for a very heavy gown, or custom gown or a custom outfit. But if you're getting something light like a cocktail outfit, like an Indo-Western outfit, then we've also delivered it for like 15,000, 20,000. It really depends. We want to give you good quality stuff, and it does come at a price. You want good quality fabric. You don't want the work to be falling off after 2 days. You don't want the dry cleaner to say, the color bled. If I get any of those complaints, I probably won't be able to sleep for 3 nights in a row. So yeah, I mean, if you want quality work, then it will come, because it does cost us also. But as most, we are trying to give you the best bang for your buck.
And how about the difference in the fashion over there and here? What difference do you mainly see, between fashion in India and fashion in New York?
It's extremely different. I mean, it's different. Like, and see, New York is hard to compare, because New York actually is a melting pot. Like I said, when I came here, it was an eye-opener, because people dress so differently here. There are some people who want to dress like everybody else. Like I said, wearing a black dress to a cocktail party is just a given. But you get, and that was probably the reason why I wanted to do what I did. But with Nora, what I'm trying to do is create a very practical approach to dressing. So our dresses are will look very beautiful, will have all the work, will have the vibrance, will have the color, but at the same time, they'll be very light. Being a dancer and a choreographer, I think my vision for Nora was to create outfits that, somebody would be like, oh, where did you get that outfit from? But you were able to move around, you were able to work, you're able to, hail a cab, you're able to do whatever you want without feeling like you're stuck. And here, that's what I get from here, is like, you have to think about practicality in your outfit. You cannot wear a gown with like a trail of 40 foot and walk around the streets of New York. That won't work. But yes, I try to create outfits like jumpsuits and like these fusion outfits and these gowns and dresses, which will just look very elaborate, but will definitely have, will be light, and will feel like you can do whatever you want. I have done these 6 hour shows and these fashion weeks wearing 6-inch heels and my outfit, and I've managed to like lug around suitcases, and I'm not just sitting like this, and that's it. I look good, but I can do my work too. And that's important, because we as women, who's sitting home? Like, we all have so much to do. We all are like multitasking. we are never like, just doing one thing. So it's important. You can look good and you can run the world. Just dress for it and you can be president.
If you would like to give a fashion tip to the audience, any fashion tip?
Just be unique. Just be unique. Just think like, how can I be the most, the best version of me? What can I wear which is going to make me feel good? Because fashion, design, dance, everything just stems from the same thing, feeling. At the end of the day, as a human being, we're very simple people. We just complicate our lives. We just want to feel good. We want to feel good, 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 and feel happy. So fashion is nothing but that. Don't wear something which is your neighbor is wearing. Please don't wear that. Please wear something which you know will look good on you, and you will know it. You don't need the other person to tell you, because when you know it looks good on you, you will see that reflection in the mirror immediately, and that is everything. Just knowing what looks good on you, and not be ashamed of wearing it. If you are someone who wants to wear black all the time, by all means. I think having a unique sense of style is really important, because unfortunately, so we are living in a world where people do judge you by what you wear. They do. First impressions is everything. So when you just have to think about like, well, what will this dress express about me? If I'm dressing up in a suit, if I'm dressing up in a dress, every piece of outfit is going to bring out a certain expression or just a part of your personality. What is it that I want to bring forward? Do I want to look beautiful? I'll wear a gown. Do I want to look elegant? Do I want to look like, take me seriously? So whatever it is, before you open your mouth, people are already going to stream you. So fashion is just that. You're talking without having to say a word. Style is just that. You just stand and you made a statement. You haven't had to say a word. And just dress for yourself. Don't dress for the world. Dress because you know yourself better than anybody else. The world comes after you. You came first. You're always first. Priority. That's it.
Really, really nice and wonderful tip to the audience, and it's been really wonderful. And I had the pleasure of visiting your workshop, which is here in Delhi, and it's amazing the setup and work done at this. It's so much of perfection and finesse. There's no fault in the fittings, and it's so amazing that you're taking it from there, giving them designs and sketches on WhatsApp and video call to the masters and craftsmen who are working in the studio daily. And such is the expertise, I must say, that when the designs come out, they come out to the perfection. The models don't need to, go for an alteration or anything so far.
Yes.
Whenever your show is over there.
I mean, we try our absolute best, and it's taken us time, to be honest. Nothing has happened overnight. It was a very tedious process, extremely tedious. I'm living in the US, and then I'm talking to my production team. During Fashion Week, I have had 3-hour long conversations over WhatsApp with my tailors, with my, the handy guy, and waking up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and talking for 3 hours non-stop, going over everything. I've created collections sitting over here, and I think my family has been astonished, because when they would see the piece come out, they're like, how are you doing this? It's just simply